All right, so I've been getting a lot of questions about grip strength, and remember that this is the stabilizing first point of contact on the bar. So if you strengthen this area, everything else in your body will become stronger as well. So I'm going to show you a very minimal equipment way to train your forearms just using dumbbells. Let's get into it. All right, so the first exercise, forearm flexor curls in the supported position. I've talked about these in the past before. They are just a staple fundamental for forearm flexor strength. All you do is you grab a relatively medium heavy weight because you do want to challenge your forearms, and in the supported position, your forearms are a lot stronger than you think. And all we're gonna do is hang our wrists off the edge so our forearms can drop. You can drop to your fingers if you want. I feel like the weights, especially with dumbbells, they kind of rock a bit. So I go to the point where my wrists and my grip strength is still holding onto it. This gets a nice stretch in the forearm flexors. And then you bring it up to the point where you can't anymore, get that nice contraction and come down. And for all forearm exercises, I do high reps. So in the 20 to 30 rep range, 15 if you're going really heavy, but higher than usual for strength training because it is a smaller and harder to engage muscle. So you just want to do nice and controlled reps for as many as you can. All right, so we just worked out the front of our forearms. Now we're going to work out the backside called the extensors because we want a nice balance in our forearm strength. So this action is going to be pulling our wrist backwards, kind of like this, but the power is going to come from our fingertips and our thumb. So we're gonna place the thumbs on the back side of the dumbbell. We're gonna place our fingers kind of right at the top of the dumbbell. And this is a high rep, low weight exercise. So supported position, a little bit on our legs. And we're just gonna pull that weight up and flex the back side of our forearms. Keep it nice and controlled. You can get a really good contraction, especially because the dumbbell is nice and flat. You can even do isometrics and just hold here, but you can see the tops of my forearms activating as I pull. The next exercise, you want to go light to medium, so lighter than the forearm flexor exercise, but heavier than the extensor exercise. And it's a wrist twist, so all we're doing is going from pronation to supination with the dumbbells in our hands. You can do 2 at a time to save time in your workout. And you want to keep this nice and controlled. And we're just challenging the movement of turning our hand over and then back down. This last exercise, you want to go as heavy as you possibly can. It's just going to be fatigue reps, holding on to heavy dumbbells as long as you can. I like doing them in the supported position because I can kind of relax the rest of my body and just focus on my forearm stamina. It's just like doing a dead hang on the bar, but in this case, we're keeping our hands low. And that actually helps with circulation because when we have our hands over our head, it tends to get a little more painful because we have less blood flow to our forearms. But this is pretty heavy, so I'm just doing like close to max, if not till failure, and then I'll put them back down. But with those 4 basic workouts, you'll get an extremely good forearm workout.